All right, we are back. This is the Dream is Free podcast, episode 14, I believe. I didn't check before we started, but I'm pretty sure we're on episode 14 right now. Our guest today is Flahn Manley.
Yes.
He is an artist, and he's also the owner of a nonprofit called Renaissance Fire. He has a studio in Shelton, Connecticut as well. What was the name of it? ICD Creative?
ICD Creative Studios.
ICD Creative Studios. So he is an amazing artist. Like I do not say that lightly. So make sure you go check out his work on Instagram. Stop by his studio. He's doing a lot of great things. He's here to tell us today about his story. He's going to tell us what he's up to now. And we're looking forward to hearing with you. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, appreciate you, bro.
Thanks for having me, bro. Thanks.
I forgot to say, I'm your host, Jake Healy. Sorry, it's late on a Friday for me.
Yeah, no, it's good.
Host, Jake Healy. This is the Dream is Free podcast. Our other host and super producer is Mike Theophil. He's back there holding everything down. Yeah, but again, thank you for coming on.
Yeah, dude.
It's
been a long time coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, been a minute.
Yeah, it was like a divine intervention
Certainly
showing
has,
up on
yes,
here, right?
yes,
The way
yeah.
that everything worked out. You were just telling a story about connecting with another artist, looked at his Instagram page, saw Mike on there. So it's like, it's cool how everything's connected. And your mentor, you were saying,
My mentor used to be right in the space.
in this,
yes.
the studio that we're in right
Yes.
now. So it's,
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's
So
dope.
Meant
Really
to happen.
Yeah,
Literally.
it was. This is gonna be an epic show. I'm down. I'm excited. I'm ready for this. I've been trying to get him on here for a minute actually since I don't even know.
I remember he sent me like
I don't
your
even know,
Instagram
yeah.
a while back. He's like, we got to get this guy on here. I was like,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. So it's
Yeah.
good to have you, man.
I'm excited to be here, man. I'm really excited to be here.
Yeah.
I
good.
literally went running today. I didn't do nothing else. I just came. I was like, I couldn't go though.
Nice. That's epic. Hell yeah.
That's what I did today. Just run.
Hell
Yes.
yeah.
Me too.
You
I
and
ran
Jake.
this morning.
You and Jake will have a lot in common to talk
I
about.
love running.
Yeah, he does. He's like obsessed.
Yeah. But yeah, tell us first, like how, like, have you always just like, were you born an artist? Was it something like that you grew into? Like, how did you get so good at painting?
Well, I've always been an artist, but I'm African.
Yeah.
Right?
We could tell.
I say that because like I didn't get to express my artistry until probably like my late teens.
Okay.
You know, but I've always been an artist. You know.
Yep.
The reason why I say I'm African because in the African household you gotta be a lawyer, doctor, engineer.
Oh, gotcha.
I'm one of those, you know what I mean?
It's like
So,
a strict educational household.
You cannot go any other path other than what they set for you. So yeah, but I've always been an artist since I was a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So was it, did you grow up bumping heads with your parents about what you wanted to do, or?
Yeah, no, I literally forged my way here. Like,
Yeah.
I'm on my own in Connecticut for the last 15 years.
Where are you from originally?
Well, I grew up in Minneapolis. After high school, I moved to Connecticut. I should have been in Boston for college, but my family lived up the street, so I decided to stay here, go to Cumberland College.
Oh,
so
cool.
I just ended up staying here and I didn't go back home.
Awesome.
Yeah.
When did you start painting and everything?
I started painting in college, actually. I hated painting because, I didn't know how to use colors. But I've always sketched a lot, But, I started painting in college. And for the last 6 years, when I got the studio in Shelton, I truly immersed myself in my artistry, because I had no other outlet,
Right.
But to just paint.
Yeah. What was like your first type of artwork that you got into, like when you were a kid? Was it just...
Say it again?
When you first like started getting into like the art world, like what was your, if you weren't, you're a painter now, right? Like
Yeah.
that's like your main thing. What
Yeah.
did, like what brought
What
you
triggered you to get there? Like what
brought you into the art world first?
Yeah, when you were young.
I don't know. Like, so I've always been drawing, right? Trying to express myself, right? But I think early on, if you remember like the early days, right? You had like the Jason Pollock style of shirts making or whatever.
Yeah.
I was big in New York, whatever. So I was doing that with my T-shirts, But I've always drew, But I think the first painting I did was of this African kid that was like struggling I think you probably seen it on the internet before. This kid like is like on the ground eating like the breadcrumbs or whatever off the floor. That's like my first piece I did on my T-shirt.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
All right. So your thing is like taking real life portrait
Yeah.
stuff and then recreating that
Yes.
with some beautiful colors, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I saw that on your Instagram. I was looking at like the George Floyd piece.
Yeah.
Yep. Tupac piece.
All yeah, I mean,
Shit is fire.
they're amazing.
My mom would love that piece. Mom's a huge Tupac fan.
Yeah.
She goes to sleep in this Tupac shirt I got when I was in like 6th grade.
I remember it.
Remember that one? She
Yeah.
goes to sleep in that. It's hilarious. I'm like, jeez, you're hilarious.
Yeah.
Loves Pac.
Nice. So tell us, from college to now, like what you've been up to, like getting into, like what's your nonprofit about, like how'd you start everything?
So in high school, I created this thing called ICD Clothing, which is like my brand. I used to make like one-of-one T-shirts for myself, you know.
Does ICD stand for anything?
ICD stands for Incomplete Designs.
Incomplete Designs.
Yes, it means a work in progress.
Okay, always a work in progress.
Yes,
got it.
Constantly evolving.
All right, cool. I like it.
Love
I
it.
like it.
Yeah.
We know all about that.
So I truly embody that. But initially, I started that brand because, you know, I wanted in New York with my uncle at the time, whatever. I was homeless for a little bit, and he would give me like $20 every month to like buy toiletries, whatever. But you know, living in New York, you gotta be fly, right?
Yeah.
You need some Jordans, you need that gear, whatever, right? And I didn't have that. So what I started doing was I started drawing on my T-shirts and going to school with it.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? So that's how I started. Then eventually I figured out how I can make money out of it in high school by making one-of-one T-shirts. So whenever anybody want a custom T-shirt, I make it for you. You pay me $30 and whatnot. Eventually I was dope for a while after high school. Then when I came to Connecticut, I decided, you know what, I want to, rather than doing like one-of-one, I want to come do like a collection. So that's when actually like I kind of birthed like the actual brand, like the actual line or whatever of ICD Clothing. Then I did a college thing or whatever for a while. It was fun for a little bit until my professor told me, yo, this project you're working on, it's not gonna work out. It's not real, you know, which was like for ICD, you know, 'cause I always kept my brand into everything I did, whatever. So I proposed like this business idea in graphic design, whatever, where I was gonna launch my business, all that good stuff. And he was like, nah, that's crap. It's not going to work, whatever.
Yeah.
And he failed me.
That's the best motivation.
Yeah, he failed me. He failed me, give me an F so I can repeat the class. And I was like, nope, this is the last straw. I'm not coming back.
Yeah.
So I dropped out of college in 2011, 2012, whatever.
Were your parents devastated?
I mean, at that point, they had no choice, you know what I mean? Because I'm by myself out here, you know, in Connecticut. I already had a fun with my aunt and uncle, whatever. So I was already gone for the first 2 years in Connecticut. I was already homeless already for the first 2 years already.
Wow.
Yeah. So at that point, I didn't really care already. So I just did what I had to do.
Were you just homeless because you were trying to stick to art and like your family wasn't supportive of it? Was it just?
Well, it was like I couldn't go back home. In Brooklyn Park, where I grew up at, you know, it was like no outlet, you know, and the kids I grew up with, they didn't have much going on for them either, you know what I mean? So if it was in college, you was out in the streets doing nonsense,
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? So that bridge was already burned already, so I had to stay here and make it work. I had no other choice, you know what I mean? So obviously, you know, I wasn't like homeless out in the streets, but I was like, you know, moving around certain places where I was staying at.
Bouncing around couch to couch type thing,
you know
gotcha.
what I mean? So I was fortunate enough to have a church family. It took me for like a year and a half, you know, where I stayed and actually designed everything. My ideas came together from there. But for the most part, I just been by myself for the entire time.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So just doing the art thing, right?
Yeah.
All right, so that's for ICD Creative. So
Yeah.
like you're you had this idea.
Yeah.
It's funny because our other friend TJ that was on here was talking about how he started his hat business like at Norwalk Community College. He like came up with a business plan and like he was like, all right, I'm just gonna go do this. He dropped out of college and moved to San Francisco.
Wow.
And just started like this hat business, you know, like back in the early 2000s, you know. But yeah, it's just funny how a lot of things start like that. So that's ICD Creative. Tell us about your nonprofit.
So the nonprofit is basically like a bridge, right? So in a lot of these inner cities, like Bridgeport and Sonia, there is no outlet for kids to express themselves in like an artistic way.
Yep.
At all, because the budgets are cut in a crazy way, right? So I know that, you know, I can make a significant change by just doing a pop-up event, you know, like a paint party for the kids, whatever, right?
Right.
There is no instruction whatsoever. You go there, you get to express yourself in a very creative manner and whatever, and you just leave. There is no commitment at all to it, you know. But I know also a lot of artists want to give back, but they have no means of doing it as well too. So what I did was I kind of created this product, you know, around the time when everybody was saying I can't breathe,
Right?
Because I really believe in manifesting things. So I say no, rather than saying I can't breathe, I'm going to create a shirt that says breathe. You know what I mean? Breathe, relax, and reapproach the situation. You know what I mean? And basically be rather than be reactive, respond in a better way. So I kind of created an incentive where when you donate to this project, you actually get a shirt in exchange, which is like the Breathe hoodies and like the Dream Manifest mask I created. So yeah, basically it's like an outlet to actually kind of create, to help artists kind of basically express themselves. That's it.
So that's awesome. So like you have a donation set up. You go to the page, donate. You're giving out the Breathe hoodies to people who are donating to it, right? So that's a good way to like spread your brand. That's awesome.
You're right.
And then from there, using that money to do pop-up events.
Yes.
Places like Bridgeport, Ansonia,
Right.
for kids who need an outlet to get into art. Because the art programs are all cut. I think that's amazing. I mean, like there's, for me myself, I'm probably the least artistic person ever. But no, I could see how like kids needing that outlet. Like I think there's a lot of therapy. Like it's a therapeutical thing. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you can't express how you feel, but like some kids are able to paint how they feel or whatever it is.
Exactly, because like whatever you suppress, you express in a very unhealthy manner, and this is a lot of why we seeing the kids out here hurting each other,
right?
Killings, you know what I mean. The leadership shows as well too, because everything has been suppressed. Yeah, you know what I mean. So whatever you suppress, you express in a very unhealthy manner. Yeah,
got it. I mean, you seem like a very deep-rooted thinker about everything. Yeah, I know we're just grazing the top right now. You got to tell us. You got to dive a little bit deeper now. So what was the last pop-up shop that you did?
The last one I just did actually was what was it, like last Saturday? You know, my nieces and nephews from Bridgeport came through the shop one night for the first time. They actually get to paint, and it was just playing with colors. You know, my little nephew painted this picture of a circus. I don't know what it was, but he said it was a circus, so it was a circus. You know? And I believed it. But having fun. That was this on last Saturday. And prior to that, I flew to Minneapolis, where I'm from, one night, and did a big event there. It's like my first launch event. You know?
Oh, cool. That was for the nonprofit?
Yeah, Renaissance Fire.
Wow.
So it's not just for Connecticut, it's like for anywhere. So
everywhere?
Everywhere. So if I have an artist in Chicago want to collaborate with me or whatever, I will fly out there and actually pay for everything and just work with him.
Wow.
Yeah.
So if somebody wants to collaborate with you, you're linking up with them and figuring out what you need to purchase, or what are you doing, paint canvas, stuff like that, and then they're reaching out to kids in their community, parents like trying to just get a group together to come and are you like teaching? Are you just kind of guiding, or just, you know?
So I try to do like the minimum teaching, you know, but let's say because a lot of these kids, like, they're not artists. They're artists, but they haven't painted before. And they
haven't had the direction yet.
Exactly.
Right.
So I just let them have free reign. Eventually, so when they get stuck, then I come in their system.
Gotcha.
And that's really it. Eventually, I will teach advanced classes, but for now, we're doing like the free reign.
Got it.
Yeah.
How'd you come up with this idea, like for Renaissance Fire? Like, what sparked it for you?
It was a void that needed to be filled for the longest. You know what I mean? Because, you know, like, I'm seeing, like, I'm painting. The first time I did this before was I think I did a piece of a little girl, right? And she loved to paint it. You know what I mean? And it's a very big thing where these kids don't like, because even for me, I grew up in Brooklyn Park, right? Like, my family didn't have the means for me to be an artist, right? And so we're not going to pay for that. That's not a priority at all. So
the school didn't have it either.
Exactly. You know what I mean? It's a supplement in the school. You have it, but it's not enough.
Yeah.
Right? So that is that, whatever. So when I seen that, and it's like everybody's like blaming the city, the government for lack of funding, but we can actually do the things ourselves. So I kind of took initiative and actually did it myself. So then when I started doing it little by little, kids come to the studio, actually want to help me out paint or whatever with my project or whatever. Then I seen, I said, all right, cool, let me just make it a thing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like such a good idea.
Yeah.
For you, like, tell me about like your artistic process, like, 'cause for somebody who doesn't have like that left-sided, what is it? Right side is the creative? Right-sided brain?
Something like that.
Yeah. What's like your process of like figuring out what you're gonna paint? Like, where do you find your motivation? Like, what's driving you to paint something?
That's an interesting question. I don't know. Like, I think it's based, for me personally, it's not based on the story I want to tell. You know, because I'm very story oriented with my art. I started making kind of like junk food art. You know, for like the longest. You know, I'm very, very big on representation of people of color, especially black men and women or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, because they're not seen enough. You know what I mean? So like that's like what drives me. So when I'm doing the piece, obviously you know where I'm going with it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Now it took me sitting there actually getting it done, and that's really it. Well, I'm inspired by everything around me, everything around me.
Got it. Because on your Instagram, obviously like the Black Lives Matter movement is probably a factor in it. Like everything that's been going on the past six months, really, like that. So is that like that's your outlet, obviously, for however you're feeling inside, is to express that art on there, right?
Yeah.
Has that been like a factor your whole life? Like it's just like how you take everything, instead of internalizing it, you're putting it out on the canvas?
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely. You know, like the whole Black Lives Matter thing. It's like I am black, right? I don't need anybody permission from to say, like, I don't gotta tell you, don't gotta tell me, yeah, you could be black. I'm black without you telling me I'm black or not. So I've been doing that, so like it's like normal for me. You know what I mean? So like when I paint, it's like it just like floods out. You know what I mean, on the canvas, and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's like it's just so funny to think, because I'm such like I'm so far away from like that artistic side. You know what I mean? Like I just like I'm an introvert. I internalize everything, and like I go for a run or something and like think through everything like over and over and over again. But it's just like it's such an interesting way to like be able to use that to put your thoughts out into the world, you know? And I mean, that's kind of like what I wanted to do with this podcast. It's like forcing myself to be more extroverted in a certain circumstance. So like sitting here, like normally like I'd be like the guy in the back in the corner watching everything, you know, but it's like, all right, start this podcast. It forces me to connect with more people. Not forces, but like it puts me in a position to connect with more people. Get better at conversation, speak more, do that stuff, you know. So it's like.
But what make you think? What make you say you're introvert?
I think just like how I process everything. You know what I mean? Like I work in a very extroverted job. I'm talking to people all day long.
Okay.
But it's just at the end of the day, or whenever I have that free time, like I need to go and just sit by myself, and like I have a way of processing the whole day. You know what I mean? Like I get my energy from being alone.
Right.
Whereas like an extrovert, somebody like Mike is a hardcore extrovert.
Big time,
like
big
this
time,
guy,
big time.
You know what I mean? Life of the party. He gets his energy from the people around him. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I get my energy from that quiet downtime, you know?
So yeah, I'm like in the middle.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like in the
You're
middle.
like an ambivert, so sometimes you
somewhat,
like that introversion, sometimes like
because
the
I have
extroversion.
to, everything you say, I have to go run and have to meditate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I got to be away, because after a while I get depleted, being around a lot of people, because, you know, like they drain my energy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Rather than me get energy from them to actually drain mine.
I feel like most artists are probably introverts. Like they probably, I could just picture like the people in these studios up here, like light, you know, dark lighting, like just in there drawing, doing, you know, producing their art. But I feel like it's probably like a lonelier profession, right? Like you're.
It is, you know, because, you know, you have to produce. It takes so much energy, you know what I mean? You release so much energy to produce, you know, especially if you really enjoy your work.
Yeah.
You know, you're not kind of creating junk, you know. So, yeah, at least for me, I can say. But, yeah, I mean, it takes a lot of energy. So, for the most part, I have to be alone. Like, at my studio now, I have, like, curtains where, like, when I'm producing the work I really enjoy, I got to close the curtains, because once it starts forming, people come knock on the window. Oh, my God, it looks so beautiful, this and that. And it's like, well, thank you, but I don't need that right now. Let me just focus on this. You know what I mean? Let me just do my thing, because I'm in flow, and it's coming, and it's like arriving. I don't need you to tell me I'm doing good. No, just shut up. Let me get the work done, and when I'm done, I will show you to actually tell me how good I am.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I'm back.
Was it hard, like building your business, like the studio, like bringing everything together, like obviously, like you sell your paintings and everything. Yeah. I feel like a lot of artists struggle with going from like hobby to profession.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like claim, like you can like confidently say like, I'm an artist. This is what I do for a living, you know? Was it hard like coming to that point where you're like, all right, I'm a business now?
Yeah. I mean, it's supposed to be hard. It's supposed to be, because it's not what we do. We're artists, you know what I mean? Yeah. And if you don't come from a wealthy background, shit, somebody's gonna do it for you. So you're gonna have to learn. You're gonna have to adjust. You're gonna have to adapt or die. You're gonna have to be a starving artist. You know what I mean? So you're gonna have to do it. You know what I mean? It's like I didn't start painting like I am right now, like 6 years ago. No, I had to just start. It's like repetition, like going to the gym. You know what I mean? You're not going there and try to bench 500 pounds. You start with 50. You start with 25, right? Repetition. The more you do it, the easier it gets.
Yeah.
Muscle memory. You do what do you do? Jiu-jitsu, whatever.
Jiu-jitsu.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you understand it, right? Same thing.
Yeah.
You got to just train.
I'm not good at it, but
I mean, but you are better than where you,
when I started
exactly.
for sure. Yeah.
So the fact that you got to just adapt. You know what I mean? The muscle is it. Your muscle, your body has to. It must. It will if you allow it to. You know what I mean? So you know this because I gotta say, as a trainer, you understand.
Running too, like I get it with running. Like I've done long distance
Yeah.
running. I know it's one step at a time.
Exactly. So that's how I approach it. Especially I do like a lot of long distance running. So that's how I approach everything. Yeah. But sometimes you forget, and you be like, oh my God, it's supposed to be easy. It's like, no, you're learning. The reason why it's hard because it's new. It's a new territory. It's a new terrain. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You might run into like a puddle. You know what I mean? You might run into like some other junk or whatever. A snow what's it called? Hill or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's like a new terrain. You gotta figure out how can you go around it or how can you run through it. Yeah. You know, but it must be done. You know what I mean?
I think I relate running back to like almost everything in my life too.
Yes,
like,
me too.
It's like how hard it is, how you go from running a mile to running a marathon, let's say, you know what I mean, 26 miles, like just that one step at a time, the training that it takes, the discipline that it adds to your life, like everything.
And every time you pass your threshold, right? Boom, magic happens, right? The next day, I can go further.
Yeah, and sometimes you while you're running, you hate it, and then once you finish and you stop, like you feel good that you did it. Yeah.
Exactly. So it's like with anything.
Yeah.
Literally, that's why I get up early in the morning and go running first. So when I get stuck, I'm like, oh shit, I beat this shit already. I beat this level already in running. You know what I mean? Like literally, I did it in a very physical way, and it hurt. It sucked, but I did it.
Right.
This is nothing. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Yeah, I think I did a 50K.
Oh wow.
2 weeks ago.
Wow.
So almost 32 miles, right? And I didn't train a lot for it, right? Like I was running 10 miles for a few weeks on the weekends, and like then I was running 3 to 5 miles every single day in the morning at night for it.
Right.
But the only reason I was able to go do the 32 miles is because I've run 50 miles before.
Yeah.
So like I knew I could go do it. Like there was no
Exactly.
question in my mind. I was like, all right, even if this is gonna hurt right now, I was like, I know that I'm gonna be able to get through this and just like keep going. You know what I mean? I know I could at least finish it.
Exactly.
Yeah. But it's just funny. Like I always, while I'm running, like I'm always thinking about how like running relates back to like life.
Yes, it's everything.
Yeah, training through different scenarios, like for what's to come up. Just like all that stuff. It's funny, yeah. And like running's a good sport for me because like I like to think too. So it's like I'll run. I'll be thinking about things, and then at a certain point, my mind will go blank, which is a good feeling. You know what I mean? You just focus on it's almost meditating. You know what I mean? Focus on the breathing and everything. Yeah.
I mean, I think I use running more for talking shit. It's pleasure. Like I be like dancing, like once I'm running, because I'm free. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, but on the way back, then because I got to do the workout now, it's like, oh shit, I got to think now. It gets like really, really hard because when you go out 7 miles, you got to come back 7 miles, right? That's like 410, right? So at like the 10 mile mark, whatever, it's like shit, I got to do 4 more. My leg is hurting or whatever. You know what I mean? Now you got to focus and get in the zone. No more playing around or whatever. But yeah, for the most part, it's like fun.
Yeah, I think it's the best sport ever.
Yeah.
Like I like other sports, but I think running in general is the best sport ever because one, it's free.
Yes.
Everybody could do it.
Yes.
It doesn't like really. You just need a pair of shoes, right? You don't. Sometimes you don't even need a pair of shoes. You go to the beach and run barefoot.
You're right.
I mean, some people run barefoot,
trail,
on the
road, trail, all that stuff. You know,
Right.
That's not for me. But it's like it's a free sport. If you have a pair of shoes, you could go run anytime. You don't have to pay anything for it.
Right.
You don't need a basketball. You don't need a football. You don't need a coach. You don't need to sign up. You know. So it's a free sport that everybody could do, and it's limitless.
Right.
Like there's nothing that's gonna stop you from being able to go run. I mean, harsh weather, maybe, but it's like COVID hit, right? All the other sports get shut down. You can't go to a gym. You can't go play basketball. You can't play baseball. What can you do? You could go run.
But you do need willpower though.
Yeah, you need the willpower. Yeah,
you don't have the willpower then. You
need the discipline to do it.
Exactly.
You need that motivation to start doing it. But no, it's funny. Like people like always ask me like, how do you run that far? I'll be like, just one step at a time. Like there's no difference between running 1 mile and running 50 miles. Like it's literally perpetually putting one foot in front of the other and always moving forward.
Yeah.
But no, it's fun. I love talking to other people who run.
Funny, right?
Yeah. But let's get back to the art world. You know?
Yeah.
So what's like your plans going forward? Like what's the move?
My focus right now is like a nonprofit, honestly. So I will definitely, I'm gonna be in Minneapolis a lot because it's like a very fertile ground for me to actually work and have a lot of resources. Connecticut, I have resources here, but not as much as I have in Minneapolis because it's like where I grew up at. Everybody will want to help me now. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of money on the table, a lot of resources there. So like I have something I have to give back to the community there, and it's like I have social proof. Like wow, he left.
Yeah.
And with this kid that grew up causing a lot of chaos, but now he has something that's very valuable. You know what I mean? He has to bring it back. How can we help him?
Were you crazy when you were a kid?
I was like every other kid, you know what I mean, within Bridgeport, right? Trying to find himself, right? And you seep through the crack.
Yeah.
I'm one of those ones.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? So like I don't judge none of the kids that actually doing nonsense out there because they're finding themselves. Like they don't have guardians, you know what I mean? So I just happen to be the ones that actually somebody just snatch me up, say, yo, you could do this. And I'm like, oh really? Boom, then I see through the crack. And that's it. So I want to be the one that actually snatch kids out. Like, yo, you could do this. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's really it.
No, it's funny. We had this other guy, it's Harry Bell, that was on here too. Yeah. He has this thing called Color of Positive Thought. So he created it's like a motivational, we really need to get a copy of his coloring book. It's like,
yeah, we do.
A motivational coloring book. So he's from the Terrace, Bridgeport. But he designed this coloring book himself, and now he's like wholesaling it to school districts all over the place. He runs food drives in Bridgeport. He's really just like trying, he does this other program where he takes kids from the projects and signs them up to go like sailing.
Yeah,
and
it's awesome.
To do all these other, sports and that they would normally not have access to, know?
Right, yeah.
So he's trying to do, the same exact thing. Exactly. Like he's trying to take these kids, take some camping, you know what I mean? Show them that there's like a way out, that there's not, you're not just stuck to what's around you.
Because exposure is currency.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because a lot of kids are not exposed to nothing at all. They just stuck to this little box, and that's it. And they have to survive in this box. So how can you blame me for surviving in this box?
Right. If you don't know there's anything outside of that box.
Exactly. Yeah. You know what I mean? So that's one of the reasons why, like, the minute I got exposed to something else, whatever, F that.
Yeah.
I don't care about that stuff.
Yeah, all that street stuff. Yeah.
Exactly. You know what I mean? But I'm not gonna blame you because you subconsciously, you know what I mean, you're not there yet. You know what I mean? So until you wake up, keep doing your thing because you gotta survive.
Yeah.
The minute if I tell you don't do that, I'm disarming you. Now I'm basically people are gonna prey on you now because I disarm you. Because I said, oh, you'll be this. It's like, no, do whatever you gotta do to survive in this environment until you decide, all right, I'm done with this, whatever. I'm coming on the other side. You know what I mean? So I don't really judge nobody.
No, I agree. Do you think like the difference between like somebody who gets caught up in like not so great stuff and like yourself, like somebody who's
seeps through the crack, focusing
on positivity and like how you can give back to the community? Like you think the difference of that is just chance? Like you just you were exposed to something else that you gravitated towards, and
like the kid that's in Bridgeport, it is not. It's like he's smart as the kid that's in Westport.
Yeah.
But that kid in Westport have more opportunity to showcase his talent.
Right.
The kid in Bridgeport don't.
Right.
Yeah, you're not
you know what I mean? He has to make every shot he take. He got to make it.
Yeah.
Kid in Westport got to take 100 shot. Know what I mean? To make one.
Right.
Kid in Bridgeport, every shot he take, he has to make it. It has to go in. It has to be a splash.
Yeah.
If he don't make it, you don't get another chance. You see what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, no.
And that's it. So now that kind of creates self-sabotage. Like, oh my God, I'm not good enough. You are good enough. You are more than enough. Yeah. But you don't know that the kid in Westport has like 100 shot to take. Does that make sense?
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense.
100%.
And that's really it. So they're no different.
Yeah. So that's you're trying to give the shot to take over and over and over, right?
And but then again though, but who's to say that you can't you can take these shots? You know what I mean? As long as you're willing to face the consequences that comes with it, then you can take as many as you want. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's it.
No, it's true. It's like
you have to accept, like, yo, you know what? I forget it. I'm just do whatever I want to do. Like me, I took a chance on myself, and I'm looking to accept. Like the only way, so like society punish you in a way like this, right? By isolation. So if you don't do what everybody's doing, What it do?
You're alone.
Exactly.
You're an outcast.
Exactly.
Right.
So if you can accept that,
Yeah.
you can take as many shots you want.
Right.
With no distraction.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know
I mean, that's how I feel with this. Like,
Yeah.
not for nothing, you know, a lot of people from my program, you know, I graduated in sports media. What are a lot of people from my program doing? Nothing wrong with it. They're working in sports media. And I did that. I tried it at first and it just wasn't me. You know what I mean? It's not.
That 9 to 5 grind, like just.
I need my own 9 to 5 grind where I know my creativity isn't going to be bunched up and controlled and contained. Like I get to run free and control and create whatever my heart and mind desire. You know what I mean? So it's like I totally understand where that's coming from. And I was also going to say before, it's like there needs to be. It's crazy because this show it's bringing on a lot of people who are doing things, who have done things, and are going back and trying to help out and give chances, give more shots to people. So there needs to be more people like that. Here at Downtime, we're like that. You know what I mean? That's why we're linking up with Full Court Peace and stuff. And I just think there needs to be more people who are becoming successful or successful in whatever sense that is to come back and give back to a lot of communities, because there's a lot of kids, like you said, he could have been the next this, he could have been the next that, but now he can't because he wasn't given this opportunity early on.
Yeah.
You know, just not, we got to get more opportunities out there.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's the best part about the podcast is the people that we've had on here, such as like yourself and like all these other people, like these nonprofit organizations or just people who are willing to share their raw story with us. You know what I mean? Like just be completely open about everything in their life, right? It's just like the whole thing has been so motivating. Like every single episode we do, I leave floating. Like I'm like, I'm high for high off it for days. You know what I mean? I'm just like,
whoa,
so motivated and like inspired, and it's like people who think differently than I think that I'm learning from. It's just been like, it's been crazy.
Right.
I know. It's dope.
Yeah.
It's fire.
I know. And we just want to keep doing it. Just keep giving more and more people like a platform to like tell us what they're doing, express themselves. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. Tell their story and share what their beliefs are. You know what I mean? Yeah. In a non-judgmental environment.
Right.
And it's crazy how like you really don't need to do much to give back.
You don't.
You know what I mean? Like just like yourself, like it doesn't have to be this big extravagant, like you don't need to fundraise millions of dollars and try to change the entire world. Like you could pick one community and just say, all right, like I'm just gonna do art with these kids. You know what I mean? Like if you could change one life, it was worth it, the whole thing, you know?
And nobody has to appoint you at all.
Yeah.
People waiting to get appointed. Like, do it yourself. If it's like written on your soul, do it.
Yeah.
The universe is gonna provide for you. Literally, it's gonna like my whole concept of this thing, right, is like planting seeds, right? You know, I'm very big on planting seeds, right? It's gonna grow. So you either decide, you know, I wanna plant something that's very nutritious or poison ivy. It's your choice.
Right.
What it is that you want to manifest, right? So that's why I decided, you know what, I want to see more artists in the world. So I'm gonna start by the communities that don't have the outlets, right? That have lack of access, right? I will go to them, my way. You know what I mean? And it starts there, you know. But then again, I don't have to be appointed either, you know, because it's written in my soul, and I'm very passionate about it. And people that are actually in alignment with it, it's gonna help me out, and it showed. You know what I mean? It showed that, like, I'm an artist. I did it on my own, right? But when I launched this project, I put it online. It caught on fire within like a week and a half. This is an art thing without no major stamp from nobody. It's just like this artist got this idea, and people from every walks of life decide, you know what, this is dope. I like this. Go ahead, do it too.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I mean? It's just like, whoa, nobody appointed me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, don't wait to be appointed. If it's written on your soul, the universe is gonna provide for you. Period.
Yeah. If you're doing the right thing, then
Yes,
it's gonna back you.
Yes, it definitely will, for sure.
You gotta just put the work in, right?
Yes, you gotta put the work in. That's a fact.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
How are you connecting with kids to like find kids to work in like in the program?
Oh, you got for me, like, and this thing about it, right? There are kids out there. They're there. You know what I mean? You gotta just put the word out there. Listen, I'm having a free event today. Can you bring the kids? Yeah, like they will show up. You know what I
So
mean?
you're just using social media and stuff?
Social media is
just
the biggest thing.
Okay.
It's the biggest thing. You know what I mean? A lot of moms out there got a son or daughter that want to be an artist. You know, they want to try it out for the first time.
Yeah.
It's another activity for the kids. Another brick for the mom and dad, whatever. Bring the kids out.
We should. So Sharon, the guy that owns this building, right? He had an idea with the guy Harry Bell that came on to talk about the coloring book to take one of the pages of the coloring book and do like a piece, like a big piece of it, like enlarge it, and then get kids from the community
to come do it.
Maybe we could link you guys all up.
It's the same concept. It's the same concept. I'm doing the same thing.
That's not what I'm saying. Maybe
we'll just link you guys up.
Yeah, we make it happen. And that's it. Yeah.
Epic.
You know what I mean?
And that's another thing we'd be doing is connecting people. It's freaking crazy.
Like Harry Bell's coming to help
full court piece.
Check out the basketball court with us tomorrow.
Yep.
Wow.
So I feel like something beautiful is gonna happen when we connect all these nonprofit people together. Right?
It's gonna be an explosion of nonprofit helping.
The idea he had or whatever. It's like I've had an idea already. You know, but it's like I'm in my studio just work on my thing, right? And somebody's like doing it. Now I got permission to do that too. You know what I mean? Because it's happened by somebody that had the same heart I have, whatever, did it. Oh, wow, cool. Now I can do it too in another way. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's the same thing. You know, so it's pretty dope.
Yeah.
It is.
I mean, the whole thing is like, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell us like a little bit more about, so your art studio, right? Mm-hmm. What's like the plan for that? Like how do you go about selling your art? Like
how can people buy your pieces?
How can people buy everything?
So I got the nonprofit and I got the art stuff, right? So I'm working on my portfolio.
These are separate though. So like you have your nonprofit that's completely nonprofit, and then you have your for-profit that's your art studio, right?
Art studio. So like commissions that come through help pay the bills, whatever. And then after that, I'm doing like my own personal collection because I haven't done a show yet.
Okay.
You know, I've done various collective shows, but my own show to my story, whatever, I haven't done it yet. So that's what I'm working on right now. As well with the nonprofit.
Nice.
But so if you're following my story on Instagram, basically you know
the journey,
and you know what my art is about. You know what I mean? You know what you're buying. So I have various collection. I got the Les Gunma Roses collection I was doing for a while, which kind of centered around gun violence within the inner city. You know what I mean? Less
guns, more roses. You said?
Yes.
Okay, that's cool. I like that name.
I'm doing that. Then I had another collection I worked on, which was like the hunger relief collection, where I'm bringing awareness to hunger, insecurity in America as well. So I got that as well, and also the Black Lives Matter as well. So as well.
It's fire.
Yeah.
Where can people find you?
Yeah, where can people find you?
You go to my Instagram at Flahn mainly. Of course, RenaissanceFire.com for sure. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Cool.
I have an art question. Like, how long does it take you to, like, let's say like that George Floyd piece on your Instagram? Like, how long does that take you to do?
It's crazy, right? So
I've always wondered this about like art, like what the process is. Like,
it depends on how inspired I am, right? So I didn't go to the George Floyd Memorial, whatever, in Minneapolis, because I knew I had to do that piece, whatever. I didn't want no outside influence at all. So I kind of isolated myself, but the energy was so intense within the environment that I drew.
It's crazy that you're from Minneapolis too. Like, were you there?
Yeah,
no, I was in Connecticut at the time. You know, so I kind of started like, because I got commissioned for that piece for Renaissance Fire as a donation. So I went to Minneapolis and I did the piece within like a week and a half, I believe. You know, and I just...
Is that fast for you, or is that...
It's fast because I paint slow. You know, I took my time. You know what I mean? You have all the time in the world. You don't really have the rush, you know. So, but that piece I just did like that. So I did like two pieces while I was there. I did one of Breonna Taylor and I did one of George Floyd.
Got it.
Yeah.
No, I always wonder like how long it takes to...
Yeah, it depends on, like I said, how I inspire.
Because those are like very, very detailed. Like you're like a portrait artist. Like
I need one done of me in my youth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's make it happen.
Show it to my kids one day. Be like, Dad was a stud.
We can finesse that.
Yeah, exactly.
We can finesse that.
Make me look a little more buff.
Of course.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about like one of the deeper things that we get into, I think, with people on the show is finding purpose.
Okay.
Right? Like finding your own purpose in life, you know?
Your personal legion.
Right. So for you, like for everybody that comes on here, it's centered around being of service and helping other people. And everybody that's been on kind of takes whatever their passion is or the work that they're doing, and then somehow figures out, like you did, how to structure that into and create that as their life, right? Mm-hmm. So is that what you kind of took? Like you were just like, all right, like art is my thing. I need to figure out, like, what drives you to want to give back to the community?
I've always wanted to give back. I think that's something my father instilled in me since I was a kid. You know what I mean? It's certain values like it's like, I don't know. That's the reason why I can go anywhere and I'm good. You know, I have this good aura around me, and people just like me. So, but I knew for sure my art was like a vehicle for me to actually do more, you know, to tell a story as well too. So, but yeah, it's always been something that I actually wanted to do since I was a kid. You know, like give back. You know, because you have to give back. Yeah. It's very important you give back. You know?
Got it. What did your, like, going back to like your dad? Yeah. Like, what did he instill in you? Like, what was it? Like, was he into service? Was it?
Because my father used to work in government in Liberia.
Okay.
Yeah, and so we fled from the war, but prior to that,
let's go back to that real quick. That seems like a big. So you're from Liberia?
I'm from Liberia. I'm from West Africa, Liberia.
Okay.
We forgot to mention that part.
Yeah,
when did you come to the U.S. from Liberia?
98.
And you were how old then?
I was like 10 years old.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you're from Liberia. Yeah. Your father worked for the government.
Yeah, at the time. Yeah.
And you. So what was? Do you remember like growing up in Africa?
It was chaos. It was very chaotic. It was very rough for me. I learned to survive there, you know. So when I came here, so the first 10 years of my life, I didn't really go to school at all. So I get to play and be, you know, an artist and do what I want. So my mind wasn't really molded to do anything else. You know, I like structure, discipline, all that. It wasn't because I wasn't going to school. So
there was just no school there.
There was school, but it's a lot of war going on. I was doing a lot of traveling, moving around or whatever. So it was bad.
War going on?
Yeah, war going on. Like it was like a 14-year civil war.
Yeah. Civil war in Liberia. I don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
See, I think we should have started with this.
So it's a 14-year civil war in Liberia. I'm doing like surface level stuff, but that was the story or whatever. So eventually, my father came before in like '94. Then we were still there. Me and my other siblings were never. Then after that, we left. In '98, we came 4 years later.
Got it. And you said you had to flee Liberia.
Yeah.
Like, was that something like with your dad, like because he worked for the government, he had to?
Well. Yeah, for him when he left, yeah, but on our part, he sent for us.
Okay.
He sent for us.
Oh, he left in '94, and then you came in '98.
Mm-hmm.
'98, yeah.
Who'd he send?
What do you mean?
Like, was it government or?
No.
Oh, okay.
It was on his own thing.
But okay.
Obviously, he had ties. You know.
Yeah.
He made things a little bit more easier for us or whatever.
Right.
You know what I mean? But yeah, you know, but he did the right thing. You know, he had all his kids and whatnot from the outside.
What kind of work was he doing when he was in Liberia?
He worked with the president. So he was I think like at the time he worked with the Ministry of Finance. He was like the first auditor in Liberia.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. And got dangerous for him, so he had
because he was a very honest man and they ain't like that.
Okay.
You know what I mean? When you are working with a dictator, you know what I mean? His guys don't like when you're honest, you know, about certain things, so they gotta get rid of you.
It's a yes, sir.
Yeah, you know, so one of the reasons why people be like, oh my God, Donald Trump, this and that. And I'm like, if you knew what I've been through, you wouldn't try to make me follow any rules because I'm so anti-establishment. Mm-hmm. I am, you know what I mean?
It's like an anarchist.
Yeah. So I mean, I respect the law of the lands, whatever, but you cannot make me do whatever. You know what I mean? Because I know my story and people died. The reason why I'm here today because people died. I mean, like pieces was moved off the chessboard for me to be here today.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You know what I mean? So I don't have to conform to nothing at all. Just accept the fact that I'm very, you know, cordial, everything else, whatever. But you can make me do anything. So because I've been through this before already.
Right.
You know what I mean? So yeah. But yeah, it was very my other older siblings had it worse, but you know, but it was very bad, you know what I mean? But we left. Fortunately.
Are you the youngest?
I'm the youngest.
Okay.
I'm the baby.
How old are your siblings?
They're like 10 years ahead of me.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so
they really
they
lived through it hard, yeah.
Yeah, no, they lived through it, but like for the most part, my dad did
everything he could.
He did everything he could. You know what I mean? Who was well off, you know what I mean? And but you know,
but it was dangerous.
It was very dangerous.
Yeah.
It was very dangerous. You know what I mean? We saw some things. You know what I mean?
Right.
That was exposed a lot. You know what I mean? I was exposed a lot because when everybody left, you know, and being the youngest, you know, my mom, whatever, it was really hard.
Just you two.
Yeah, just us two, whatever, and just bouncing around. So it was very challenging. You know, being when you're Liberian, when you're 5 years old, you're 10 years old because you are exposed to so much.
Right.
Very
you age quickly.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? So when I came to America, it's like
you're like 25.
Yeah, what was it like coming from Liberia to where'd you go to first?
I'm in Minneapolis.
What was it like coming from like Liberia to Minneapolis?
Yeah, that's crazy. It's a total culture shock.
Yeah, I was the African booty scratcher. It's the thing where the kids call you when you're African in like the 90s, you know what I mean? They make fun of you. You have to assimilate the culture fast. Yeah. Right? And you get bullied. So it was rough, you know, but when I figured out there were punks and pussies, so I was like, all right, cool, it's game time. I became the bully. You know what I mean? But it was very challenging.
Yeah, you were probably the toughest one there, right?
Not really, but if you act like it, it'll believe you. You know what I mean? But I'm not that's not my character.
Yeah, you're not a fighter, you're a lover.
Yeah, I am. I'm a big lover.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's my archetype, really
Did you speak English?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
You spoke English your whole life, so.
Yeah.
So is that a second language there, basically?
It's the first language.
Oh, it is?
Yeah,
cool.
They got various dialects as well.
But cool.
First language. So,
awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was very challenging. You know, I really enjoyed it. You know, so yeah.
Got it. So when you moved here when you were 10, like getting acclimated, like not going to school at all to jumping right into school, was it like hard to catch up? Was it?
It was very hard for the longest. You know, it's like I knew that I'm a very kinesthetic learner, right? I'm very hands-on, right? But my father did not know all these things because you know he was, you know, doing what he was doing with her, right? And my caretakers back home wasn't taking care of me, right? They wasn't doing the job. I wasn't in school. You know, my father would send money. I think I was spending money on food. You know what I mean? Things we gotta do to survive, whatever. So I wasn't in school, you know. So in somewhat I was very literate. Yep. So when you come to America, you gotta catch up, right? You have to be able to compete with the other kids. And I'm being compared with everybody else. Then you start losing confidence in yourself. You know what I mean? Lose confidence in yourself, and what that lead to?
Right.
Lead to trouble, right? So that was my issue. Like I was failing because I didn't get to do art. Because you know, in my household, you cannot be an artist, right? So being that I wasn't exploring my artistry, I wasn't learning. You know what I mean? Nothing was being related around art at all. You know,
was there art in school at that time or no?
It was. You know what I mean? I remember my first art project. You know, it was a thing where we used like the graphing paper to actually cut up and kind of build like houses or whatever. But my house was like a mansion because I already had a head start back home, whatever, where I'm playing like in the dirt and doing these things, whatever. Right. So like, you know how you see the little sandcastles or whatever? Like, I did that. Yeah. Like I literally built like an entire compound of like, you know, that's my thing. So when I came, no dirt, I could just draw it on, whatever, cut it up. Man, I went berserk on it. Yeah. And I remember that project like yesterday. So I really thought I was going to be an architect, but then again, I suck at math, right?
Yeah.
So
you need to know dimensions and all that stuff. Green prints or blueprints. Yeah.
Yeah, but if I had like the right.
See, green print. That's what we.
I was thinking the green.
I know. That's what funny.
If I had like the right grooming, I probably would have been whatever, right? But that was not there. You know, it was like, yo, just do it. It was like everything was like so textbook, right? And you have to learn on your own. I had no
box,
it was like
they gave you the box, and
you know what I mean. But so it was very challenging for me. You know, like I was failing. You know, unless I started. I think junior high school was when I went to junior high school, middle school. In the 6th grade, because I forced my way there in a competition or whatever, and kind of pick up these kids from like the Tri-Cities, whatever. I went to art school, whatever. I spent like 1 year there, whatever, having fun.
You went to like a specific middle school for just art?
Yeah, for art, right? But that was like for a year. Then after that, I got sent to New York to live with my uncle because I was bad. I was getting a lot of trouble. You know what I mean?
So let's go to New York City.
Huh?
So go to New York City, where there's no trouble.
Yeah, there was no trouble, right? Yeah. My uncle was like, I'm gonna help him out, this and that.
Whip him into shape.
Yeah, and that didn't work out. It didn't work out, and that was like when I experienced homelessness for the first time because you know things went sour on his part. And
how old were you when you moved to New York?
I was like probably like 11, 12 years old at the time.
Okay.
Yeah, so I moved there, and I'm very diverse, right? You got kids from like, you know, you got Spanish girls, you got you got everybody from everywhere, right? Right. Spanish girls, you know, I was like very big on Dennis Puerto Rican girls.
A lot of guys are. It's not just you, don't worry.
At the time, right? So it's like, oh my God, it's so beautiful, whatever, right? But but everybody was so fly, like they have flavor, right? And here I am. I have
from Minneapolis.
I'm shy, you know. I have no friends here myself. You know,
he had the Minneapolis swag.
You know, I had no gear whatsoever, right? You know,
that's what the Minneapolis swag is.
Nah, Minneapolis got
I'm joking.
fly out there. Yeah. By the time, you know, coming from my household, that's not what we were about. I'm a kid, you know what I mean? Go to school, but there's kids out here, they're getting fly.
Air Force Ones.
Yeah, Air Force Ones, getting new Jordans every week or two, whatever. So that was like what I had to deal with, you know what I mean, by myself. So yeah, it was rough, you know what I mean. It was like a concrete jungle for real, you know what I mean. That's like when I got introduced to gangs, you know what I mean. And you had to protect yourself at a very young age, whatever. Then so that led to me going back to Minnesota because I couldn't stay in New York. I was getting.
How long were you in New York for?
Probably like 2 or 3 years.
Got it.
Yeah. Then
so like from 12 to 15 years old, you're in New York,
yeah.
living with your uncle, kind of get caught up with the wrong
wrong
crew and everything.
Yeah.
And back to Minneapolis.
Minneapolis now, like I'm bulletproof 50 Cent.
Yeah.
I'm bulletproof 50 Cent. You know what I mean?
He came back 50. He left like Will Smith.
He left 25 cents.
Yeah, exactly.
Had a huge influence on my life, whatever, as a kid. Yeah, so but that was
Get Rich or Die Trying is like the one.
Yeah,
that album is fire.
But yeah, so that was that, and but it was like so in New York, right? So Flahn the Kid, right, is this artist, right? I had kind of created a shell, right? The shell was like the guy I created was what's his name, like Bones. What's my nickname, right? My street name, Bones, right?
Bones?
Yeah, Bones.
Okay.
And just trying to hide this person, this artist, this lover, right? Because you cannot be a nice person, be living in the city because people take advantage of you, easy, right? So I kind of had to hide that. I couldn't be too smart. I couldn't really express myself in the way I wanted to. You got to be tough and be rugged, all that good stuff. You know what I mean? So eventually, what's it called? In high school, I started cross country.
Running?
Running.
Look at Jake's smile.
These kids are the smartest fucking kids in the fucking state.
I know, dude. It's funny. I did cross country. Jake will laugh at this because I'm not a runner.
He was a good runner though.
Yeah.
No, I like basketball and it's more sprinting. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's a lot of sprinting. So fast forward college, my college coach is making me do cross country. Right. I've never run 5 miles in my life, and I had to go run 5 miles. I'm like, gosh,
for a scholarship too, so you had to run fast.
I'm just running like, and those kids though. Wow, I've never seen people get so hyped in my life for running, ever.
Yeah,
ever.
Fast as hell.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Dudes would lap me. I'd give them high fives.
So you started doing cross country in New York?
No, in Minneapolis.
All right, so when you got back, you started doing cross country, like a school thing?
Yeah, school thing.
Okay.
Because my boy joined, and we used to make fun of these kids, like, yeah, y'all some pussies that are running around the city, little pinsies, whatever. But when I joined this team, right, these kids were like the smartest kids, because I'm failing at this point, right, and I love running. And I think I joined cross country because my sprinting coach, he was a dick. He wasn't paying attention to nobody other than the kids that was really fast. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I decided to join on the long distance thing. You know what I mean, to get faster and be a better athlete, whatever. But when I joined this team, whatever, these kids like fucking smart as shit. You know what I mean? Like really the smartest kids in the state. You know, they actually, get to compete with other teams, whatever, as far like academia. And that was like when I started actually growing up. You know what I mean? Because the bond was different. You know what I mean?
What was, you just saw that there was more out there, like?
Well, it was like, all right, so for any sport, right, if you're failing, you cannot run, you cannot play at all.
Oh, okay. So you wanted to run, so you started having to do well in school.
Yes, you know what I mean? So that was it, right? And you got the kids that.
And it's like, the people you surround yourself with, you're gonna, you know that the mantra, who you are is who you chill with, and like, he's chilling with these smart kids. He's like, it's time to get smart.
Yeah. So I went from being like having D's and C's and D's to be on the road within a year.
Oh, nice.
You know what I mean? Because I had to actually be able to run, because I think for the first year I couldn't run varsity at all. I couldn't run. I think one of my rookie season I should have been on the varsity team to go. I went to state, but I couldn't run because I was failing. You know what I mean? So the following year I had to get my grades up for sure. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Nice. And is there art going on this whole time, or is it?
Well, so art is being given to me as a supplement in the classroom, right? And I'm taking just like when I'm doing my T-shirts, all that good stuff, right? But it's happening at nighttime when my father's at work, right? The living room table, whatever. I took the tablecloth off, whatever. You know what I mean? And do my work,
and you're like
whatever.
doing undercover art stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Like we were underground, right? And the name ICDs came because my work would never get finished.
Because you were trying to get it done before your dad got home.
Yeah, that was it.
Now we're getting to the good stuff. Like, all right.
So I had to like hide it in like the closet.
Yeah.
So I'm hiding it, whatever. I go to school. in the morning, whatever. It's like, damn, yo, it's not finished, bro. What's going on? Yeah, bro, I couldn't finish it because my father was at work, whatever. He came home, whatever. I had to, like, you know, get it done quick. So that's when it started. But so that was going on still, you know, undercover, and then yeah, what's it called there? So I was doing cross country or whatever. So I was getting, you know, my coach, like I said, my coach and my art teacher would give me all the other supplies, whatever I need, you know, to actually do my art, you know. But they didn't know that I was going through this at home at all. Right. You know what I mean? But they were doing the best they can for me at school so I can succeed. You know, but so I ended up being a captain of a cross country team, and I've been a captain of my track team as well too. Right. And after that, and I literally graduated with like a 1.9 GPA.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so
just got there.
Just made it. Yeah, I think I graduated high school.
Yeah, like a it was similar. Me too.
Yeah,
1.2 or like whatever
I was down there
to pass by. Yeah.
Sheesh, yeah,
I went to the alternative high school. They were just like, here, they're like, just show up.
Yeah,
3 hours a day and we'll pass you.
Wow. Yeah.
Wow. I was like, all right.
So it was a struggle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then when I left Connecticut, no, not Connecticut, but Minneapolis, like in what's it called, Connecticut. The goal is to go to college to be a graphic designer. You know what I mean? So that's when I started doing, because I was very big on the computer. Because the computer thing happened back at home. My father thought, because you know at the time he was very computer illiterate. Because when I'm on the computer, he think I'm doing homework.
Oh, okay.
So I'm like, well, I finessed him, but I'm doing the art stuff on the computer. You know what I mean? Because he couldn't really
tell what you were doing.
Exactly.
Yeah. He just was like, oh, he's smart. He's on a computer.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So that was it.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. And then at what point did you decide like, art is what I'm doing for the rest of my life? Like, or did you always know that?
I've always known that, but when I started seeing like the impact it was having on people's life, whatever, you know what I mean? Like, you know, just painting these kids, you know, just seeing how like they was able to see themselves, you know, for the first time, you know what I mean, through art, you know, and then I knew that it was very profitable when I started getting commission to do paintings for people or whatnot. But also, I've always like knew it was a thing, but I didn't know how to like monetize it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I've always knew it was a thing, but I didn't know how to monetize it because like every business you gotta scale it because you become a slave to it, right? So yeah, so now within the last 3 years, whatever, I've been learning to scale it. So a lot of people ask me, "What's up with the merch line?" Well, I'm an artist first before I'm a businessman. You know what I mean? So I've been learning how to scale my business all the way, so I don't have to like be a slave to it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Nice. What did it feel like to sell like your first big art piece? Like to be like, damn, like somebody really appreciates this and wants to buy this.
Like, it was hard at first, you know, because I didn't know how to let go.
Yeah.
You know
oh, you didn't want to let go of
I didn't want to let
work.
go because, you know, you love them. I mean, I still have pieces that I won't let go at all, but, you know, yeah, it was very hard at first. But now, like, I give it my all. You know what I mean? I enjoy the piece. There's like no time spent. There's no time stamp on when it should be done or whatever. I take my time with it. I give it my all, and I know that for sure that it's going somewhere. People take care of it. You know what I mean? Because people actually tell me, "Oh my God, Flahn, I love your work because the energy that you actually have within the work, like your energy is very intense." You know what I mean? And I really appreciate that. So once I learned that, letting go is easy because I know for sure I can replenish and I can do more work.
Yeah. Plus, it's going with somebody who appreciates it and they're gonna take care of it, and it's like, it's just like you getting spread around and stuff too.
Exactly.
Yeah. What for like I was thinking about Mike, like, cause he's an artist in his own way, like the video stuff, photography, the video work, the podcast and everything. So I was like, it's pretty cool to see like that he's like able to make money off of like doing something that he loves. It's like his art, and like I think he went through the same thing with like figuring out like how do I get people to pay for this? How do I talk to people about paying for this? Right? Because it's like,
it's uncomfortable at first, you know.
It's uncomfortable, but as long as you like understand like the value process, it's about once you know how to communicate people value, they will give you money.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like they'll give you money. If I sit here if I do a painting of Mike when he was like from high school up to now, whatever, or from like being a kid or whatever, when he had his vision, I could paint his life, whatever. I'd be like, yo, Mike, this painting is worth $5,000, right? If the story I told of Mike is really good, I'm getting that check.
It's gonna be worth it, right?
I'm getting that check because now he's, oh my fucking God, somebody get it, somebody get it, and that's it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So yeah.
No, it's awesome.
Yeah, so you gotta learn how to communicate people values, you know, through business or anything you do, whatever, and like mainly your artistry. Once you do that and render the service, it's game time.
And showing people you care too. is important.
Well, I mean, you guys put your heart into to everything too.
Yeah. And I care about my clients too. Like I have one client who had a little bad news or whatever last week, and they came to me and, you know, instead of being like, I'm charging you for your time kind of a thing, it's like, let's talk. This is actually a positive that this happened, and made them realize it was a positive, not a negative, and now they're in a better place. And that to me brings me more joy than anything, you know, making sure that everyone that wants to do something that's getting my help can get that help, and we're going to get you there. You know what I mean? Once they get there, then it's like, that's epic. They're there. They look how happy they are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Simple. Boom.
Yeah. I'm like, I work in finance, so I'm like, the first thing you talk about is money.
Yeah.
With people, you know what I mean? It's like, this is what it costs. Now let's talk about the, you know what I mean? That's why when anybody talks to you, that's what they want to know about. Right. So it's like, I'm so used to like talking about fees and money and like all this stuff. So it's just like interesting to see like the flip side of it, like the art side of it too, you know? Mm-hmm. Yeah. But anything else you wanted to talk about? Anything you wanted to any
shout
life, out?
Yeah, what's your like? We like to end too with like, if you say something that's like your life, you know, something that you go by, you know.
If there's a young Flahn out there, listening to this, like, what do you want to say to that person? Like, what do you wish somebody told you when you were
right
at an age where you're trying to find your way to slip through the crack? Like,
just I don't know. Like, I just been in the mindset of calling everybody that feel they need to like validate who I am. They're fucking losers.
Yeah.
So fuck those losers. like literally, if you know who you are and like own who you are, like literally own who you are. That's like the greatest gift you can give to the earth.
Yeah.
Own who the fuck you are. Fuck those losers.
Don't worry about what other people think. Don't compare yourself to other people.
Don't. That's giving your power away. Like, literally, like, fuck them. Mm-hmm. Every time you have to check in with somebody about who you are, the power is gone. Like that. Little by little. Then somebody's going to get up like, oh, my God, then you wonder why you don't have nothing. Because little by little,
you slowly become the shell of the person that you really are.
Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So fuck those losers, literally. And I've been living like that. Literally.
Nice.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
It's okay to be different than the rest of the crowd.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. You have to be different.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like,
unique.
Our fingerprint right now is all different. It's not the same thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you own it, it's different. You know what I mean? You have flavor. Right now, I can go out there right now. The food I get in Bridgeport is different from the food I get in Shelton.
Mm-hmm.
Right? If I want flavor, I come in Bridgeport.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, facts. Honestly,
right?
Yeah.
If you want that bland shit, you buy it in Shelton.
Yeah,
facts. That's facts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So know that. You know what I mean? That's something I have to learn, especially being African. Like, I have culture. I'm very rich in culture. I have the fair advantage, right? And also being from one of the poorest countries in the whole world, right? I'm very creative. Whenever you oppress, right, you're very creative because you have to make your way, right? So that's like my biggest advantage, right?
Yeah.
People
what sets you apart from everybody.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like going to like the poorest area to talk about like the purest form of cocaine, right?
Yeah.
I don't do drugs, but I know that it's very potent, right?
Yeah.
So people want that. You are that. You are the purest form of drug, right? Own it, and people pay a very high price for it.
Right.
Literally, that's how I operate. It might sound like I'm stuck up arrogant, but until you tap in and honestly I'm talking about, then fuck these losers. Mm-hmm. It doesn't really matter, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And that's it. Just own who you are. Really, really own who you are.
I think that's good advice.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
Well, and on that note, right? I mean, unless real quick before, because you did it earlier, but then we got deep into convo. Okay. Where can people find you again?
You can find me at renaissancefire.com. Check it out. Find me at Instagram, Flahn Manly, FLAHNMANLY.
Awesome.
Got it. Yeah. Go check out his art. It's some of the most amazing art I've ever seen. So make sure to go check it out.
Go check it out. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Peace.